Hello and welcome back to an episode of Bantz with Lawrencia. How are you all doing? If you're doing great. For today's episode, I want to talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, look at me. I'm dressed, representing the housewives. Fake hair, check. Now, Wendy and her husband, Happy Eddie. These two people who we thought were like our representative, they're Nigerians. Their parents were fourth generation immigrants into the United States. I don't know if they were born there, but maybe they were born there. But they grew up. Wendy is a professor. She had 4 degrees. She is a doctor. Okay? And her husband, Eddie, is a lawyer. Wendy has done a whole lot of things. She's into political commentator. She's a professor, was lecturing at a university. She has done, and her husband, Happy Eddie, he's just a go-lucky guy. He's always happy. That was why he was called Happy Eddie. Now, these two people decided to commit insurance fraud. And allegedly what they did was that they got together, decided to travel because they don't want their kids to be in the house. So what they did, they traveled to Mexico. And after they got back, they called the police. They kind of ransacked the whole place to make it look as if there was a robbery. Then they called the police. The police came, they did an investigation. And then they found out that, and then when they filed that report, they put through like 3 insurance claims: home insurance, travel insurance, content insurance, which was totaling about $450,000. They said that some of their items were stolen. They said that Wendy's engagement ring or wedding band was stolen, which was about $4,500. They made a claim of about $25,000 from the travel agent or travel insurance company. And then the home insurance was denied. The content insurance was also denied. But during the investigation, because we're talking about $450,000, obviously that triggered massive financial fraud, which most times FBI get involved. When they did the investigation, they realized that Wendy, the items that she said were stolen, she bought them and then returned them after she has made that report. The wedding band that she said was stolen, she was reimbursed by the travel agent. They saw those wedding bands. She was pictured wearing the wedding band. Now, I don't even know how these two people, how many degree, at least 6 degree holding two individuals who claim to be very intelligent, could decide to commit fraud and be this sloppy. Anyway, I saw a video on TikTok which kind of explained everything. So before I go into the whole gist of the matter, let me just play that video for you to see what she had to say.
Potomac star Wendy Osefo and her husband Eddie Osefo were indicted by a grand jury, then arrested on 7 counts of insurance fraud, 8 counts of conspiracy insurance fraud, and 1 count of false statements to a police officer. And thanks to this reporter on Twitter, I was able to read the 4-page court docs. And I'm not a lawyer, but let me tell you what it says. So basically, back in April of 2024, Wendy and Eddie called police to report a burglary. They said they had just gotten back from a 5-day trip to Jamaica, and upon arriving home, they found their bedroom and closets ransacked and several designer bags and jewelry stolen. Now, at first glance, it appeared the perpetrators had gotten in the house through the window of the primary bathroom. However, Wendy and Eddie had the ADT security service plus a Ring camera, and neither of those things detected anything. The Ring camera was picking up some of their package deliveries that was happening while they were out of town, but it did not pick up any intruders. So after reporting this burglary, the couple filed multiple insurance claims, one with their home insurance, one with their jewelry insurance, and one with their traveler's insurance. But it turns out the home insurance denied their claim because Eddie didn't tell them that he was also filing a claim with the traveler's insurance. So that leaves traveler's insurance and jewelry insurance. And the traveler's insurance settled their claim, giving them $25,380, which included about $4,500 for Wendy's wedding band. The problem with that is in their first report to the insurance, they said Wendy was wearing her wedding band during her trip to Jamaica. But then Eddie called them back a couple days later and said, you know what? She ain't have her wedding band on after all. So traveler's insurance gets settled. And that leaves the jewelry insurance. And to that insurance company, the couple provided a list of 57 stolen items. And that list included Wendy's wedding band that the traveler's insurance had already given them money for. So for a number of different reasons, the police start getting suspicious about this whole burglary and these insurance claims, so they start investigating. And they learn that some of the items Wendy and Eddie claimed to have been stolen during the burglary were actually purchased and returned before the burglary. For example, there was a Dior shirt listed stolen, but based on store records, it showed that that shirt was returned back to the store on January 14th, 2023. And again, this alleged burglary happened in April of 2024. There was also a Gucci leather wallet that was listed as stolen, but store records show that that leather wallet was purchased and returned in 2018. So in addition to reviewing store records, police also checked Wendy's Instagram account for any evidence. And on there, they saw Wendy wearing her wedding band that was supposed to be stolen on her finger after the alleged burglary. For degree having Wendy, you knew better than that. Police also get access to Wendy and Eddie's email accounts, and there they found an email of Eddie asking Wendy if there were, quote, additional high-value items that they could add to the list, like Chanel shoes, etc., because he was trying to exceed $423,000 of stolen items, which was their policy maximum. And so as a result of this investigation, the couple was arrested. And when they get arrested, police have a warrant to search their house. And there, they discovered about 15 more items in the house that was supposed to have been stolen in the burglary. According to the police, their investigation also revealed that the couple is in substantial debt, which I'm taking to mean police are assuming that was their motivation for this alleged crime. Now listen, this could be something other than what it seems. Could be. So try and hold your judgments until we see how this plays out. But my goodness.
Now, I am not laughing at their downfall or their misfortune, but people try to keep up with the Joneses. I mean, Wendy started from, she's her parents are immigrants. Eddie's parents, now the major T is that Eddie's parents never wanted Eddie to marry Wendy. And I know right now, Nigerian families, they're saying, I told you so. And according to reports or according to sources from Eddie's parents' end, they said that Wendy and her people were like money hungry, fame hungry, like they could literally do anything for money because they all rode in the same circle. And according to Wendy, herself and her mom and Eddie's mom were friends. They used to be friends. So Eddie's mom knew Wendy's mom very well, and she knew the family. So she said never, that her son is not going to marry Wendy because of the way the family is. She or according to the brothers, they said that Wendy, they were like anything to do, they can do anything for money. Now Eddie went ahead to get married to Wendy. They had a very lavish wedding, but the parents, not even the siblings, the parents and the siblings were not at the wedding because they never supported the union. And Wendy and Eddie, they have about 3 children, and only I think last season was when Eddie's sister was able to come to the house to see the kids. These kids are, I think Eddie and Wendy, they've been married for at least over 12 years minimum. So for them to be able to see, like physically see the kids one time in at least 12 years, that is ridiculous. But that goes to show how deep whatever animosity between Wendy's mom and Eddie's mom is. Now, as a Nigerian and as an immigrant, it is very easy to keep up with the Joneses. It is very easy to try to play the card of, I am very successful, I am here, I've done first degree, second degree, I'm a doctor, my husband is a lawyer. It's very easy to play into that. Now, the difference between, let's say, a natural born citizen is that they don't have all those ties. You don't have cousins calling you to beg you for money. You don't have to show. You don't have to brag. But I think because, the first generation immigrants giving birth, even if you don't want to do it, your parents will kind of push you to do certain things to say, oh, my daughter is successful or my son is successful. So the pressure, I can understand the pressure. But Wendy have a chip on her shoulder. Looking at the Real Housewives of Potomac, I have my favorites, and Wendy was never one of them, just because of the way she carries herself. Season 1, she was like, I have 4 degrees, I'm a doctor. She just led with that. And speaking to Wendy, yes, she's intelligent, but you could tell she's not smart, because somebody that is smart could tell that, okay, there are certain things you don't. Yes, you want to show yourself. Yes, you want to. She has a main character syndrome, because when another Nigerian joined the show, Nneka, hey, Wendy and her mother, literally the way they treated that girl or that lady on that show was appalling, because these are 2 Nigerians. These are 2 Igbo girls that could have, represented, that could have been best. Okay, don't even be friends in real life. But once the camera is on, you could pretend. I mean, you could, I understand, you need to do the storyline of, all those, but you could have chosen different. Nneka was crashing out because she felt that the way, and she said that was, not even on camera, but off camera, the way Wendy and her mother was treating her was really, she wasn't having it. And then I think Wendy also have this thing of she wants to be the main, person, kind of. And I'm like, this is just ridiculous, like, don't do that. And then she wants to keep up with the Joneses. There are so many women, Giselle, Ashley, and all that. They just lived normal lives. They were not flashy. They were not trying to show. Wendy got on that show as a normal person. But Wendy had a boob job, did a BBL, she snipped, talk. Her face has changed a lot since she joined the show, because she was trying to keep up. This season I watched a couple of the episodes, and Wendy was saying, she wants to get a marble. She was just showing it's not necessary. You could talk about any other thing, but she's just trying to be controversial just for the sake of being controversial. And I don't even know how she's going to come out of this, because her husband is a lawyer. I mean, just imagine a doctor and a lawyer planning insurance fraud and emailing each other. Just leaving trails of evidence. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that Wendy got, because they said they had money troubles, so maybe they were trying to cash in on insurance money to support their whatever business? Wendy is a serial entrepreneur, and one of the challenges with that is if you don't have steady income to kind of balance all those things, you are going to cry premium tears. She didn't have to quit her job because she started doing candles. She started a YouTube channel, and all these things take time to grow. I looked at her YouTube page and she was averaging about 5,000 views per video, and I'm like, she has a whole production. It's easier when you're just sitting down talking. You have a camera in front of you, a microphone in front of you. You talk about whatever you want to talk about. When you have a team that you have to pay, that expenses will catch up with you. And YouTube is not something that you do once a year. It's something that you have to constantly do. And for her to constantly hair, makeup, wardrobe, camera crew, everybody, you have the editors and everything, that will cost you a whole bunch of money. So I don't know. Do you think that Wendy got Wendy and her husband got caught up in this whole lifestyle of the Real Housewives franchise and got way above their necks? Or do you think that they've always been like that? Because I always tell people, listen, whatever the husband is doing, the wife is very much aware. Or whatever the wife is doing, the husband is very much aware. Like the blue cloth bandit situation. They said, oh, the wife is not aware. She's not aware. Or some wives that will say, oh, they are not aware of what their husbands are doing. Lies. You're only complaining because it's no longer benefiting you. That's it. Whoever you choose to marry, whatever the outcome is, you have to chest it with a full chest. It's either you join the game and become Bonnie and Clyde like Wendy, or you choose right. But people would rather choose wrong than right because, my husband. What do you think? Thank you very much for watching today's episode. Please like, and share. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye.